that gets paid a lot of money to kids who just play football for free. The first Friday Night Lights of the Section 5 season was tonight. And the big news around Section 5 today was five-star recruit Seven McGee ruled ineligible. He was still on the sideline today as East hosted Eastridge. Eagles trying to get it going in the first, but this run was blown up by Eastridge. Forces the fumble. Who's got the ball? Raylan Green recovers in the bottom of the pile, much to the delight of his teammates. Game was scoreless until midway through the second quarter. Lancers running it with Jalen Rose Hannah. Guys got 3 names and scores 6 points. East turning up the defense later in the second. A couple of Eagles get their hand on the quarterback to bring him down. That caused a turnover on downs. The Eastridge was also sack happy tonight as well. Aquinas transfer Ruben Torres records this one. The Ridge, they get the win 26-21. Freddie June Jr. on the Irondequoit sideline as his alma mater hosting Arcadia. Eagles down 26-8 in the second quarter. Handoff to Jaden White, and he's going to get really small on your TV screen. Breaks a whopping 6 tackles and sprints past the 7 for a 76-yard touchdown. That's pretty good. On the other end, Arcadia has a really good ball carrier of their own. Kyman Crumity breaking it near the sidelines, coming into your TV screen, bursts through for 6 of his own. Early in the third quarter, just feed the hot hand. Crumity again scores another. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground. Arcadia wins big, 47-15. The Hilton Cadets were also on their home turf tonight against Pittsford. Not much scoring in the second half of this one. Panthers trailing, but get a big run right here through the middle by Caleb Arena. But Hilton, too much to hang on. They get the win, 13-8. To high school football, Aquinas entered the day winning 14 straight games against their rivals McQuaid. That included a Little Irish 40-0 win over the Knights on their way to a state title last season. In fact, McQuaid hasn't had a win over AQ since 2006. They made history, though, today for the first ever football game at Frontier Field. Scoreless midway through the first when Tyler Zalkowski thrown it into the far pylon. That's where Manny Russell is just Manny being Manny. AQ up 7-0. Third quarter we go. Tied 7-7. Joe Cairns calling his own number. Keeping it and coming right at you. Gets into the pylon. Knights up 14-7. He's all hopped up on Mountain Dew. McQuaid would then keep it going. Hand off to Andrew Pissarro. Goes right and then goes, no, you know what? Left's better. Heads to the far sideline, cuts it back, 27-7 advantage for McQuaid, and that was all the Knights would need for an emotional win. The trophy changes hands for the first time in 13 years, 27-21. The final. UPrep getting its 2019 campaign going at home versus Palmec. First drive of the game, UPrep going to air it out. Clyde Davis to Jordan Johnson. Big 19-yard gain. A couple plays later, Michael Cathy takes the handoff around the end of pay dirt. One of his 2 scores on the morning. UPrep takes it 24-6. Nate Carter and Bishop Kearney hosting at Hornell. There we go. Kings up 7 in the fourth quarter. Carter is worth the price of admission. Takes this pitch, finds a lane. How about a big stiff arm for you? This is 40 yards of his 180 he had on the day, but the drive ended up stalling, didn't get any points. Not to worry, though, a couple plays later, Hornell trouble with the handoff. Ball out, Jalen Perry, the scoop and the score. Kearney starts the season 1-0 with a 27-7 win. The Wilson Wildcats with their amazing ball boys there today. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Jakir Moore calling his own number, goes in, one of his 2 scores on the day. Wilson, they get the win.
Now, 13 Wham Sports. Driven by Hasselton Nissan.
All right, Friday Night Lights, week 2 around Section 5, and we are starting out with a stunner, folks. Victor and Spencerport meeting tonight. Victor, a powerhouse in Class A. And this one, Victor, a Class A sectional finalist just a year ago. Spencerport hosting the Blue Devils tonight. There they go. Opening drive for the Rangers in this one. Khalees Beeman right up the gut, and then he is gone. 55-yard touchdown run, making it 7-0 Spencerport. The Blue Devils, though, answering right back in this one. Connor Knapp up top to Ethan Roberts. A little 75-yard pitch and catch. Missed extra point, though, so it was 7-6 advantage Spencerport. Second quarter, Rangers opening up that lead. 1-yard touchdown run by Rayson Walker. Isn't exactly a great-looking highlight, but it counts just as much as the other ones. Upset complete tonight. Spencerport knocks off Victor 21-12. The Rangers, Spencerport, now 2-0. 2,500 strong as Batavia opened up its new stadium against Livonia Late third quarter, Bulldogs need 2 points to cut their deficit to 5, and that's just what Alex Minihan gets done. Fourth quarter of this one, though, Blue Devils trying to hold off Livonia. Therese Smith jumps over the tackler, has daylight, but the turf monster gets to him there. But it was no worries, though, because Cody Burns, 2 plays later with a leap of his own and 57 yards right there for 6 points. Batavia takes this one tonight 19-8. It was a battle of the Eagles at East High as the home side welcomed in Irondequoit tonight. First quarter of this one, Irondequoit trying to get on the board first, and Talib Smith is breaking it near side to start off the scoring in this one as he gets it done. Irondequoit on a big drive now in the second quarter, but East High gets a hand in there, forces the fumble there, followed by a fumble recovery. And then in the ensuing drive, Anthony Gilbert on the quarterback keeper. He finds his nook, finds his cranny, and in the pile there to score it. East ends up pulling away, though. They win 34-14. LeRoy under the lights at East Rochester. Third quarter, Knights back up on their own 1-yard line, just trying to get some room with a QB sneak. Jake Hill gets the room, gets some more, and he's running away from the camera. There he goes, 99 yards in just 16 seconds. Yeah, fourth quarter, all LeRoy. Andrew Elgreth up the middle, hurdles a defender into the end zone. He goes. Knights improved to 2-0 on the year with a 32-7 win over the Bombers. And Gates breaking in their brand new stadium, Spartan Stadium tonight. Brighton in town for this one. First quarter, the home Spartans with the jet sweep to Devin Walton, and he books it past a handful of defenders. That right there for the long game. And then later in the drive, Gates going for it on fourth in Brighton territory, but the Barons are there forcing a turnover on downs, quite the stop. And then in the second quarter, Brighton with a direct snap to Sam Triego for a whole ton of yards right there. You see it. Brighton would break it open for a 29-0 road win in week 2. And it was a home opener for Eastridge, also youth football night. The kids getting to walk out with the varsity team. Pretty cool. Tonight against Brockport, Eastridge strikes first. Sharon Davis, 11 yards on the keeper. Took them just 4 plays. That would take them up 7-0. Then still in the first, the Lancers, Sharon Davis again, this time going to the air, 36 yards to Matthew Brantley, 14-0. Second quarter, Ruben Torres from 15. Eastridge staying perfect in this one, looking good while they do it. They win 42-21. And here's some scores from around the section. Penfield, tough night for them on the road against Section 3, while Thomas, no match for Canandaigua this evening.
Now, 13 Wham Sports, driven by Hasselton Nissan.
All right, Section 5, Week 2, McQuaid coming off beating Aquinas for the first time since 2006. Now the attention on the Knights as they look to continue their run against Pittsford tonight in this one. Winner into 2 wins on the season in just as many weeks. McQuaid driving up 7-0 in the second quarter, but Pittsford's Lamonte Bonds gets his helmet to the ball, forces that fumble there, and Nick Sanko able to recover it. But once the Knights get the ball back, they again go to Andrew Pissarro, this time through the air to Joe Cairns as they connect for the long score. And still before halftime, Cairns is going to keep this one going from just a yard away into the pay dirt there. That's the end zone. He ends up on the right side of the pile as well. McQuaid winning big tonight, a shutout, 28-0. Alumni Day at the Institute as Aquinas hosting Rush-Henrietta. Royal Comets making a comeback late third quarter. Pat Sharon powering the ball over the line. That cuts the AQ lead to 31-8. Then early fourth, RH again in the red zone. This time Sharon on the throw weaves that one to, that was Raphael Williams to cut the deficit to 31-14. Aquinas has seen enough though. Tyler Zakowski over the middle to Will Benjamin, and he is all sorts of gone. That one for the long score. Little Irish get the win 38-20 this afternoon. And it was a crosstown battle in Greece as the Arcadia Titans came to play Athena. First quarter, Arcadia handoff finds Cayman Crumity. He gets his legs moving that towards the near pylon. Check it out up close and personal, and then more Crumity in the second. Another carry for him. He dives it into the end zone for another touchdown. See how that works. Titans make it look easy, 41-2. They win. Wilson also making the trip to Bishop Kearney this afternoon. Kings down 22-0 in the third. Star running back Nate Carter gets the carry, and Wilson throws 7 tacklers at him. That right there would end up in a safety. Carter, though, comes back from it in this one. Catches one between his legs. Check this out. Wow. What a beauty. How he's able to do that, who knows? But Bishop Kearney, not enough, though, today. They would fall the Kings 24-8. And the Bills have
13 Wham Sports, driven by Hasselton Nissan.
All right, week 3 of the Section 5 season. Only a few teams remain undefeated, and we'll start in Class A. The Rangers of Spencerport coming off their huge win over Victor last week in this one. Tonight against Gates Chila, the Spartans modified football team level, as they're checking it out as homecoming at the stadium going on tonight. First quarter, no score in this one. Gates on a 4th down, the punt. Check this out. The Spartans, Devin Walton, the huge play there. Rangers fumble the ball. Blake Sliplin and Gates recovers, but the Spartans stall out on the drive. So now we go to the second quarter. Spencerport on the handoff. Connor Mesh rumbles through, gets the first down, and then a little bit more. And then that sets up this later on. Isaac Pierre finding the space, then finding the end zone. Spencerport stays perfect tonight. They win 28-14. Undefeated Wilson also fired up over at Irondequoit. Opening drive of this game, Sam Jackson looking deep and finds Jaleel Davis, though, and he's wearing the other team's jersey. That sets up an Eagles field goal. They led at this point 3-0. The rest of this game, though, was all Wildcats. Next drive, Jackson redeems himself, floats it over the middle to Ramir Wade. Wilson scores 42 unanswered points. They're now 3-0 on the season. To the turf at Fairport, Aquinas paying a visit in this one. Will Benjamin had himself a night for the Little Irish. First quarter, no score. Benjamin finding all kinds of open space. 67-yard run down to the Red Raiders 13 in this one. Think he's tired? Nope. Try again. Very next play, carrying red jerseys with him into the end zone. That for a quick 6. And then second quarter, yeah, he can catch too. Tyler Zalkowski drops it into the bucket to Benjamin inside the 10. That up close and personal for you. And then 2 plays after that, Zalkowski running people over. Aquinas looked good tonight. They cruise 34-16. And a banged-up Victor football looking to bounce back against undefeated Olympia Odyssey. Third quarter, Xavier Hurl looking over the middle, but it's picked off by Owen Stone there. And then that set up Brandon Popalik from a few yards out. Victor up 27-20. Spartans answer back, though. Hurl from his own end zone later on to the 50, airing it out, finds Scott Parr. And then the same drive later on, Hurl showing off his legs, and he'd be coming right at you into your living room. This right here for the score. But Victor led all night, and the Blue Devils able to hang on 33-26 for the win. And a look at some of the scores in Section 5. Pittsford picking up a win. Then in the rivalry game down at Cal-Mom, LeRoy runs away with it. You can find our coverage of high school football on 13wham.com.
13 Web Sports, driven by the Hosselton Advantage.
Yeah, McQuaid's window of winning a sectional title in football appeared to close last season. After coming up one win shy of a championship, the Knights graduated over half their starters, including their quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. But it's been the exact opposite in 2019. Instead of rebuilding, they've just reloaded. The undefeated Knights were hosting Rush-Henrietta tonight. Mountain Dew, you know they're always going crazy. Second quarter, McQuaid down 7-0. Andrew Passero from 1 yard out ties the game up. After the Royal Comets missed a field goal, Passero again, this time from the 3-yard line, untouched. Knights take the lead. The next RH play, Pat Sharon dropping back. His pass is picked off by Tim Oberleis. He's the truth and carries it all the way into Comets territory. That would lead to, lather, rinse, repeat. All Andrew Passero does is eat, sleep, and score touchdowns. McQuaid, 28 unanswered. They cruise to the win and are now 4-0 on the season. Kadeem Walker and Olympia Odyssey combined team were on the road at Brighton early on the away side, throwing it. Xavier hurl to Walker, and he's able to come down with it, lands on his head, finishes with the front flip in style. He's okay. Later in the drive, handoff to Corey Bright. He takes off the far side and starts up the scoring with the touchdown. The next drive for Brighton on 4th and goal from the 1, Mikhail Murdoch trips up the ball carrier, not in the end zone, turnover on downs. But later in the second, the Barons making up for it. Brennan Klosglin on the QB keeper, scampers in for the score. That tied up the game, but Brighton goes on to win 21-14. In Livingston County, Cal Mum was on their home turf against Mynderse Academy. Bryce Yackel had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. Looks like he's got a 4th, but is stopped just short. Ruled down at the 1. He's worth the price of admission. Not a problem, though, because his good friend Joey Larson keeps it himself. Red Raiders were up big. Mynderse now on offense. They're putting it to the air, but that's where Yackel's picking it off. The kid can do it all. Cal Mum ends up rolling tonight, 47-0. The Geneseo Mount Morris combined team was also on their home field against Perry. Third quarter, the Blue Devils supply the rock to Evan Salvaggio. One of his hands is all wrapped up, but still has the other one to carry the ball in for the touchdown. Later on in the third, Geneseo up 40-20. This time, Isaiah Chisholm on the carry. Now, it's only 8 yards, but it's pretty impressive because he's carrying 8 yellow jerseys with him. You know he did something cool if the players from the other team, if they're giving you pats on the back. Blue Devils take it 60-20. Other scores from around Section 5 football for you. Brockport beats HFL at home 21-7, and Victor blanks Churchville-Chili 37-0. Batavia Notre Dame stays undefeated, and Schroeder beats Pittsford on the road. As we entered week 4 of the Section 5 football season, few teams have looked as dominant as Wilson. The Wildcats are 3-0 and have made it look easy, winning by an average of 4 touchdowns per game. Wilson putting their undefeated record on the line against a really good Arcadia team this morning. You know the Wildcats love the camera. First quarter, Wilson getting fancy. Double handoff ends up with Dante McGowan. That's a mean stiff arm, and he's in for the score. Wildcats trying to go up 2 touchdowns. They're at the Arcadia 1, but Cayman Crumity punches the ball out, and his boy Jaquan Davis, right place, right time to recover. No problem, though, for Wilson. Second quarter, Jakir Moore, grown man carry, takes a huge hit at the goal line, lives to tell the tale. Wilson with a statement win, 54-28. The Aquinas Little Irish making the trip to Alexander Street to face Monroe. Early on, Aquinas punishing on the ground. Will Benjamin powers himself into the paint to open the scoring. Later in the first, Irish now to the air. Tyler Zelkowski rolling out, finds Zach Kelsey, a somersault, and a score. That's fun. Still in the first half, AQ rolling. Benjamin this time hits the B button, stays on his feet somehow, and peace. Little Irish win their 3rd straight, 55-12. Undefeated Spencerport welcomed in Canandaigua this afternoon. Rangers down 7-0 in Braves territory. 4th and 1, Spencerport's Connor Mesh knifes his way ahead for 3 yards, moves the chains. Later on in the drive, 1 second to go in the first half. 4th and goal from the 1, but Austin Kayward blows the play up in the backfield, keeps the Rangers out of the end zone. All the points were scored after Matt Traybold left. That's how this game works. Canandaigua hands the Rangers their first L of the year, 33-10. Eastridge trying to keep its undefeated streak up to 4. Lancers against crosstown rival Irondequoit. First quarter, Eastridge deciding to throw it. 2 pump fakes doesn't fool Purcell Brown, though. He intercepts the pass in the back of the end zone. Second quarter, Eastridge, Sharon Davis with it. And do not look away from the screen because he's going to break not 1, not 2, but I'll just count for you. It's 6. And it makes his way in for the touchdown. Later in the second, or for the short touchdown. Yeah, later in the second, Lancers handing it off to Jalen Rose-Hanna. He's got 3 names. He's really good. Looks like he might be stopped, but forces his way in. Eastridge moves to 4-0, 20-7 winners.
On the Friday Night Lights for some high school games tonight. Let's go to the highlights of this one. How about Aquinas taking on Pittsford in a double-A game tonight, first quarter. Aquinas going on the screen pass here, but hold on. Ball comes loose, and Max Murphy ends up with it in the right place. Scoop and score. Tying the game up at 7. Ensuing drive for the Little Irish. They're going to hand it off coming up here, and they're going to get it to Will Benjamin, and he's going to find a hole. And watch him go. 37 yards for the first down and much more. And then later in the drive, AQ running it again. Brian McGee, he's going to drag the tackler right into the end zone. Touchdown. There's an effort for you. And then later, Aquinas would double up the score. They win it tonight, 42-21. The Victor Blue Devils on the road against Webster. Thomas in this one. We're early in the third. Thomas up 8-6. They hand the ball off, but Victor's Mitch Rychik gets in the backfield and makes the tackle. Then a couple of plays later, the Titans on the quarterback run, but David Kelly flies in for the sack in Thomas territory. Next drive for the Titans. They're trying to throw it now, but Nick Benetti's going to jump the route and watch him make the interception. That set up Benetti on the carry. He goes virtually untouched into the end zone. Victor comes back to win this one tonight, 21-8. Not that far away in Wayne. The Eagles welcome in the Hornell Red Raiders. Second play of the second half. Wayne's John Regan here on the carry. Gets to the second level, but fumbles that one. Brian Sills recovers it and takes it in the end zone for 6 points. Yeah, he's got it in the end zone. Hornell on offense. Andrew Hamill here is going to jar the ball loose. The referees rule him down, but they would still force a Red Raider punt. Next drive for the Eagles. Handoff to Dylan Vance. He follows his blockers for the touchdown. Coming up here, Wayne would win it big tonight. The final score, 49-16. Some high school scores from tonight. Here we go. Hilton over Rush-Henrietta. Notre Dame Batavia wins big. A couple of other scores from tonight include Fairport, big over Schroeder, and Livonia. That is still in the fourth. The latest score all over Newark, 28-0. You know what? It was another busy day in Section 5 football, and we've got highlights for you tonight. Undefeated University Prep at Marina Auto Stadium hosting East High. U Prep up 8-6 at halftime. And on the kickoff to begin the second half, here it is. Kristen Jean here on the return, and he sprints, stiff arms, going all the way for the touchdown right there. Then the Eagles now with the football. Freddie Brock's going to launch into the end zone near side to cut the deficit right here to 16-13. Then later in the third, East goes for it on 4th and goal. It's Brock carrying it far side here, coming up here, looking for the edge, looking for 6. And he gets it. East High goes on to win it today. The final score, 26-22. It was homecoming today for Eastridge as the undefeated Lancers took on Wilson. Wilson down 7-0 in the first. The ball goes to Brennan Clark, and he powers past the goal line there. 3 minutes later, Eastridge trying to get the lead back. Sharon Davis fakes the pass, uses his legs, and gets 6 points of his own. Then to the second quarter, Wildcats go into the air. Sam Jackson in stride for the touchdown to Ramir Wade to tie it at 14. Eastridge would celebrate a close win today, the final 33-32. All right, McQuaid also on away turf today, taking on Monroe. McQuaid deep in Monroe territory in the second. Julius Williams with the big tackle. McQuaid has to settle for the field goal. Later in the quarter, the Knights through the air. Joe Cairns here to Andrew Passero. Plenty of yards after the catch. The Knights would pull away to win it. The final score, 37-18.
13 Wham Sports, driven by Hasselton Nissan.
Well, after winning a state title last year, Aquinas' journey to repeat got off to a rocky start this year. The Little Irish dropped their opener this season to McQuaid at Frontier Field. But since then, AQ has been dominant, winning 4 straight. So maybe the only thing that can slow them down is playing on a baseball field. They weren't tonight. They were over at Hilton playing under a beautiful moonlit sky. Little Irish already up 7-0. Early second quarter, Will Benjamin running over defenders at the goal line, in for 6. On the other end, the Cadets also running it well. Sean Myers, big boy touchdown run. Great call from the PA announcer. Cut the deficit to 7. But before halftime, AQ Tyler Zelkowski finds Manny Russell, and this is just, well, Manny being Manny, reaching down low for the catch and gets into the end zone. Aquinas wins a high-scoring affair at Hilton, 42-33. Bobby Bates and his boys were at home tonight. Everybody slap hands. McQuaid hosting Schroeder. First quarter, Joe Cairns to Jordan Brongo. How about the effort? Lays out, called out at the 2. I think he was in, but nonetheless, great effort. Doesn't matter, because on the next play, it's name that Bo champ. It's not Ben, it's his little brother Jack. McQuaid up 7-0. Next drive for the Knights. Let's go back to Brongo, because that's fun to say. He's not out at the 2 this time. He's all the way in for the 6. 14-0 McQuaid's after the first quarter. Second quarter, Cairns. Quick trigger to Casey Howlett. One move. Peace, Holmes. Knights remain perfect. They are now 6-0. They cruise 49-14. Spencerport going for win number 5 tonight with Churchville-Chili in town. First drive of the second half. The Saints can't hang on to the handoff. A few different Rangers in, get the fumble recovery. Great effort by the ref there. Ensuing drive, Spencerport's got the same problems. Rangers approaching the red zone, but they're letting go of the football. Cooper Hawkrath recovers it for Churchville-Chili. Then second play of the fourth quarter, Spencerport keeping it clean this time. Around the end is Connor Mesh. That triple option so tough. Spencerport wins it 28-7. Senior night at Brighton this evening as the Barons hosted Webster Thomas. Fourth quarter, Brighton with the handoff to Jaden Pope. Finds a lane, he starts picking his feet up and putting him down real fast. Really fast. He's running like people are chasing him, but nobody's there. Check the rearview mirror. You're good, son. 64-yard touchdown run. Later on, Thomas on 4th and short in Brighton territory. Gabe McCurdy gets in there for the sack to force the turnover on downs. Brighton wins big, 42-0. Other scores around Section 5. HFL knocks off Wayne 27-16. Another strong showing from Irondequoit. They pick up a win over Brockport 24-7. LeRoy stays unbeaten in an absolute barn burner. That's right, 7-6 over Letchworth Warsaw, and Attica is also perfect on the season after topping Avon 32-22.
Now, 13 Wham Sports, driven by Hasselton Nissan.
Believe it or not, this is the second to last week of the regular season for high school football. Tonight we'll start with a statement win at Rochester's soccer stadium. The Wilson Wildcats and East Eagles both looking for win number 6 on the season this afternoon. Late first, Eagles Anthony Gilbert throwing it right in stride to Yasir Daniel in the back of the end zone for a 7-0 lead. Checked out that catch. Same score early second. Wildcats handed off to B.J. Clark. You don't see a lot of running backs that are 6'6", but he finishes the long touchdown run, sprinting on in there. The Eagles pulling away in the third. Freddie Brock on the carry here later on. He breaks free of a ground tackle and runs it 40 yards. That to set up a short touchdown. East with the statement win 35-12 today. While Bishop Kearney fighting for the last playoff spot in Class B. Kings up against Livonia. No score. Final play of the first quarter. The ball goes to Livonia's Joel Smith. Hops over the pile, gets a first down, and then much more. So later in the drive, Smith is fed the rock again, and he breaks the corner near side for the first points of this game coming right at you. But Kearney, though, driving in the final minute of the second half, going to the air, but Alex Minahan extends for this talented interception by Livonia. Livonia wins big, 35-8. Get your power tools ready because Batavia made the big trip to Arcadia this afternoon. Third quarter Titans going to start their tailback. Cayman Crumney uses his legs. Watch him go to work, stays upright for 6 points. And then fourth quarter, this one, Blue Devils down 2 scores and passing it. But Shaquem Harris is there for the third pick in just the second half. What a day for him. And then 3.5 minutes left in this game. Arcadia looking for a first and some time off the clock. Elijah Barnard fakes the handoff and breaks for a bunch of tackles. For the long gainer, Arcadia rolls today 26-7. And finally, undefeated Eastridge at Athena today. A scoreless first half. First drive in the third. Eastridge's Ruben Torres trucks into the end zone. Lancers up 6. In the fourth, Eastridge still up. And Amir Proctor picking off this Athena pass. Proctor just called up from junior varsity on Tuesday. Takes him 80 yards back to the house. His teammates only a little excited there. Eastridge closes it out for the 22-2 win. This afternoon, they stay perfect on the season.
Sports, driven by Hasselton Nissan.
This is the last week of the regular season in Section 5 football. Now tonight, some teams looking to make their move for better seeds, or who knows, even the top seed. We've got highlights tonight. How about this one? Brockport and East High, and Seven McGee not playing for East High, not eligible, but man, he's fired up for his teammates. First play on offense, Jahil Bell here, the jet sweep. Watch him go down the sidelines. 55 yards coming right at you. He's in the end zone. It's 7-0 East. But the Blue Devils answer quickly. Watch the perfectly called screen to Desmond McMillan here, and he's going to do the rest. Weave his way through traffic, get to the end zone to tie it up. But then the ensuing drive for East. Anthony Gilbert going up top, and Mike Maxwell, he knows where the camera is. Give us a wave. East finishes the regular season 6-1. They win it 48-13. How about Eastridge and Arcadia? Wild offensive show. Ruben Torres, one of his 5 touchdowns on the night. This was a point fest, back and forth. And then here, Sharon Davis on the 2-point conversion, going to deliver here. 17 touchdowns in the game. Eastridge wins it 70-50. Victor, the Blue Devils hosting Brighton first quarter. Victor trailing. Blue Devils playing catch-up. James Knapp under pressure finds Rashawn Baker here. He's going to truck his way all the way and get to the end zone. Great run by Baker for Victor, and they tie it up. Later, the Blue Devils go back to Baker. And Rashawn again, another touchdown for the junior. He'd have 3 total. Victor, a commanding win tonight, 35-7. Another one in Class A tonight. Spencerport at Webster Thomas. Rangers in control. Thomas trying to get going on offense. Jake Zimmerman picks off the pass, starts running, finally gets brought down. The drive would end in a Rangers field goal. And Spencerport not done. Khalees Beeman here on the handoff. The spin move, and he's going to get a big gainer here. Then later, watch this play. Now, this certainly is going to look like a false start, but they don't call it, and Spencerport doesn't care. Sam Gwelly goes in for the touchdown. Rangers win it big tonight. To Class AA, Aquinas, winners of 5 straight, taking on Webster Schroeder. Fast start for the Little Irish. How about the opening drive? And it's Will Benjamin from a few yards out. He'll get in for the score, 7-0. Defense also playing well. Warriors back up inside their 5. Manny Russell, great tackle. He'll get the safety, and it's a 9-0 lead. Then the ensuing punt, and it's Russell again. He's going to get a couple of blocks on this one, and watch him go down the sidelines and take it to the house for the touchdown for AQ. Aquinas wins big tonight, 58-26 is the final.
And just like that, we have made it to the final day of the regular season in Section 5 football. Some teams fighting for a playoff spot Saturday, other teams fighting for seeding. We begin the night with one of the surprise teams this year. 5-1 U Prep taking on Nate Carter and Bishop Kearney this afternoon. 1-0 Griffins, already up 8-0 and driving. Clyde Davis airing it out to the freshman Sincere Burrows. makes the juggling catch good for 25 yards. That sets up this. Davis, pretty ball to Andre Faison, his second touchdown of the quarter. UPrep's offense was good today. Their defense was great. Ja'Shawn Hamilton jumps the route. Ball bounces off of his chest, but Christian Jean is right there, says, I got your back. The pick and the 6, that's why you got friends. Griffins with a 50-burger and the shutout. UPrep will be the number 2 seed in Class B. How about Class A? Hilton on the road at beautiful Monroe Field. First quarter, Peter Reyes. Play action, looking deep. Tajay Hill. Acrobatics coming back, makes this spectacular diving catch. The Cadets were down to the 2. The very next play, Sean Myers, grown man playing a kid's game. Cadets up 7-0. I give the Red Jackets, though, a ton of credit today for the way that they played, especially McQuaid Montalvo. Kid ran hard, 30-yard gain right there. But Monroe could not get in the end zone today. On the other hand, Myers and Hilton found it 3 times. Hilton pitches a shutout. They lock up the 3 seed in Class AA. Other scores from around Section 5 on Saturday. McQuaid wraps up their regular season a perfect 7-0. They'll be the top seed in Class AA. And Wilson blanks Athena. The Wildcats will be a dangerous 6 seed in Class A.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports. Driven by Hasselton Nissan.
The playoffs finally here in high school football tonight, the quarterfinals in Section 5. Plenty of highlights to get to, and we'll start with a rivalry game. Canandaigua facing off against Victor over on the east side. Nearby neighbors squaring off in the Class A quarterfinals with Canandaigua at Victor. First drive of the game, Victor's James Knapp on the QB keeper disappears into the mass of people and lives to tell the tale for 6 points to start. Then late first quarter, the Braves handing the ball off to Dom Camella. He finds a seam, this for the long gain down the far sideline. And then just one play later in the second quarter, this Canandaigua carry goes to Seth Vinieri, and he stretches in for the score. Canandaigua with the road win tonight. They get it done 24-10. To the surprise of the night, 3-seed Spencerport hosting a very talented Wilson team. Opening drive of this one for the Wildcats. On 3rd and long, Sam Jackson airing it out to Dejon Crumeny. Goes up and over the defender, and he is gone. Checks the rearview mirror. 72-yard touchdown. Wilson up 6. Next drive for the Wildcats. Rangers answer the bell. Jackson to the air again, but that's Connor Mesh. A great play to pick off the pass. And then the ensuing drive, Spencerport makes it count. Khalees Beamon, number 1 in your program and in your hearts, give the Rangers the lead, and they never give it back. The Rangers moving on to the semis. They hold off Wilson 35-30. While East trying to ride momentum into the postseason play, Eagles hosting Greece Arcadia just 20 seconds into the game. Freddie Brock with the carry for the Eagles. He's going to make it look so easy. That to begin the scoring. Now less than 2 minutes into the game still. It's Brock again on the run near side. Not much harder than the first time around for 6 more points. Arcadia getting one back later in the first, though. Came in Crumeny on the keeper for a touchdown there. But the next drive for East, Justice Ross Simmons on the keeper of his own into the red zone, and he picks up the rushing TD. East clobbers them tonight 50-8. To Class AA football weather in Webster. Schroeder hosting a very hot Pittsford team. Panthers up at the half. Third quarter here. Panthers go to work on the ground. Levante Bond making kids look silly out there. A 20-yard pickup for him, and then later in the drive, give it back to him. Levante Bond did all the work. Bond into the end zone, 34-14 Panthers. The Pittsford defense did the rest as the Warriors trying to claw back into this one, but Caleb Cotton steps in front of the pass for the interception. Pittsford with a 50-burger tonight. They're moving on to the semifinals, 50-20. In the Class B sectional action, Livonia in their Halloween spirit welcome in Geneva. That was Scooby-Doo. Third quarter, Livonia up 16-7. On third down, Alex Minahan jumps over the pile to pick up the first down. That in Geneva territory. Later in the drive, Ryan Howe gets the Livonia rock and backs his way into the end zone, dives in. Livonia advances 39-28. And here's a look at some of the other scores from tonight. McQuaid moving on as the 1 seed rolling, while Aquinas outlasting RH, and Hilton able to advance against Fairport, and the Lancers in a close one. Eastridge comes out on top 40-35.
Rob Howell, Dwayne Jensen, Gerald Coleman, Carl Jefferson, drive for a big gain. Picks up the first down and more. Cuts across field, and he is going to take it the distance. Michael Cathy with the touchdown run. There are no penalties on the play. "77-yard touchdown run by Michael Cathy." There is an injured player on the field.
Hasselton Nissan.
November means playoff football, and this weekend, the sectional semifinals and upsets all across the area today will start at Aquinas this afternoon. In the Class AA semifinal, Aquinas and Hilton. Winner gets McQuaid. And first quarter, second play of the game, Tyler Zalkowski to a wide open Steve Mahar. Not a single Hilton jersey in the frame. A 69-yard touchdown. Aquinas up 54 seconds into this game. Third quarter, though, Cadets down 7, but Sean Meyer Myers is a beast there. A 30-yard touchdown run. Extra point, though, and that one would be blocked. So ensuing drive, Little Irish responds. Zelkowski rolls right, throwing back left. AQ loves that play. Zach Kelsey wins the race to the pylon. Second TD of the day. Aquinas hangs on. They get a rematch they wanted all year long with McQuaid. 35-19, your final score. Class A semifinal, 5-seed Canandaigua looking to upset top-seeded Eastridge. Second quarter, Braves down 6. Seth Vigneri adding to the lead right up the gut, breaking some tackles on his way. 30 yards to the pay dirt. Lancers take the lead back a few minutes later, though. Sharon Davis, hey, Arnold, what's up? A 79-yard touchdown to Tony Arnold. Lancers back on top 20-14, but the Braves answer right back. Brian Boldrin to Matt Vahir, and he won't be tackled in this one. Canandaigua took the lead and then never gave it back. Not pictured. Don Camella had 6 touchdowns tonight. Down goes the #1 seed as the Braves now heading on to the finals. The wintry mix was coming down in Fairport as Class A 2-seed East did battle with Spencerport. Scoreless in the first quarter, Rangers handed off to Cameron Mesh, and he finds some space far sideline to start off the scoring there. Second quarter, Spencerport trying the squib kick. They were up 14-7. Freddie Brock does not care. Picks it up, jukes his way near side for 6 more points for East. And then final minute of the first half, East doing it on offense as well. Anthony Gilbert throws it to the right, finds in stride Justice Ross Simmons for the score. East was leading late. We'll have the final score on 13wham.com. And in Class B, top-seeded UPrep taking on 4-seeded Livonia. First quarter, no score in this one, but that wasn't for long. Alex Minahan rolls out of the pocket for Livonia, slings it to Michael Ross. Touchdown Bulldogs in this one. And Livonia was out in front. Then to close out the second quarter on 4th down here, Marcus Lewis punches it in. Livonia making a statement today. Bulldogs win in an upset and a shutout. Your final score, 27-0.
Now, 13 Wham Sports, driven by Hasselton Nissan.
Tonight, the sectional finals starting in high school football. East and Canandaigua meeting in Class A. The Eagles haven't won a sectional championship since 2005, and it's been nearly just as long for the Braves in this one. Canandaigua and East, we knew it was going to be a close game, and it was tied early on. The next drive, though, for East, Anthony Gilbert here hucks it up near sideline to Mike Maxwell, breaks the tackle for a 13-7 East advantage. And then later in the second quarter, the Braves give the rock to their power back, Zach Wantuck, follows his blockers into the pay dirt as Canandaigua goes up at the break, 14-13, a close game. Then still it was a 1-point game. This time now in the fourth quarter as Canandaigua gets another touchdown. They would go on to win as they get the job done. This is their first title since 2007. They beat East 21-13.
It's crazy. I mean, we went through heartbreak last year, and then now it just feels right. Come back and do it again and finish it off the right way. And we're just improving every week. And, you know, as long as we keep improving, I'm just confident in this team and my brothers around me to get the job done every time.
Yeah, so Canandaigua going home with the win. It's also a look at Class D as Notre Dame Batavia beating Alexander by 7 points to also get the title.
Now 13 Wham Sports, driven by the Hasselton Advantage.
All right, well, the last time McQuaid football won a sectional title, Jimmy Carter was in the White House. It was 1978. A 41-year championship drought on the line tonight in the Class AA final. All the Knights had to do was beat their longtime rival and defending state champs Aquinas for the second time this season. Hollywood couldn't write a better script, but the first half was the Tyler Zelkowski show. Kid can sling it. The AQ quarterback airing it out 52 yards. Will Benjamin on the other end. Little Irish led by 13 at the half. But the third quarter, the Knights were within 5. Andrew Passero has been battling a hip injury, gutting it out. 40-plus yards to pay dirt. McQuaid, they take the lead 30-27. Fourth quarter, same score. 5 minutes to go. AQ driving, but Zelkowski hit as he's throwing and is picked off by Sam Perozzi. McQuaid picks up 2 first downs, and well, that's it. The Knights shut out the Little Irish in the second half, and they're partying like it's 1978. McQuaid wins 30-27.
I mean, that feels great. I was crying too because I've never been on a team like the kind of chemistry that there is on this team. Juniors, seniors, sophomores, freshmen, we all get along. It kind of didn't even feel real for a second.
But it is very real. How about the unbeaten LeRoy up against Letchworth Warsaw in the Class C game? Oaxaca Knights trailing 14-0 in the fourth. Andrew Englerth gets them on the board as he crashes in the end zone. Letchsaw answers right back, though. Ensuing drive, Brett Vasily rolling out finds Dolan English in the back of the end zone. Great catch. Great officiating. Letchworth Warsaw pulls off the upset. They hand LeRoy their first loss of the season. Give them that brick, 26-6.
We're winners. I mean, we won, you know. Just a bunch of thoughts come through, positivity. You know, we did it. I mean, we did it. It was awesome. Oh, my goodness. So satisfying. I loved it. You know, we loved it. We wanted. That was one of our main goals this season. Now try to go get the state champion.
In Class B tonight, Livonia pitched a shutout as the 4-seeded Bulldogs knocked off the 3-seeded HFL Cougars. Livonia wins their first football championship in 26 years.
Now 13 Web Sports. Driven by the Hosselton Advantage.
Tonight's the state tournament continuing on in high school football. The Far West Regionals are here, and the winner moves on to the New York State semifinals. We'll start in Class A with Canandaigua. It was a snowy, chilly atmosphere for the Class A Regional. Canandaigua versus South Park out of Buffalo area. 4 minutes in, there was no score, but the Braves sophomore quarterback Brian Boldrin on fourth down, no less, going to arm one, finds a speeding Matt Verheul for a 7-0 Braves lead. Next drive for Canandaigua. They weren't done. Boldrin throws the screen pass to Joey Urlacher. He has some beautiful blockers down the near sideline. That right there for the long touchdown. The Braves led 14 at the half. Then in the third quarter, the Braves would keep it going. Supplying the rock there to their power back, Zach Wontuck. He stiff arms one defender to the turf and dives his way into the end zone for a 3-touchdown lead. Canandaigua now moving on to the state semifinals as they'll play Carthage after their big win 24-6 tonight.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's unbelievable, this experience with these guys out here just working every week, trying to get better. It's incredible. We came in here as a 5 seed. We battled all the way through. You know, we just got to keep battling, and it doesn't matter what they think. We just got to believe in what we got as a team, and we got to keep pushing forward.
And they're now headed to the semis. And in Class D, Notre Dame of Batavia meeting Clymer Central Schools. Scoreless late first. Notre Dame punts it to Xavier Overton. He has massive holes in front of him. Looks back at the defense as he starts the scoring. Notre Dame was down, but later in the second quarter, Fighting Irish would find their way to the red zone. Their handoff is to Gabe McDonald. Find some space to cut the deficit 13-8. But CSP just getting going. Clymer going to the air this time as Jarrett Hinsdale throws the jump ball, that to his tall friend Cameron Barmore. Notre Dame of Batavia can't keep up. The Irish end their season in states 48-7.
Web Sports. Driven by Hosselton Nissan.
Tonight's more high school football as 3 teams representing Section 5 in the state quarterfinals will start in Class AA with McQuaid fresh off winning a sectional title for the first time in 41 years. McQuaid in the Class AA regional versus Lancaster. Second quarter, McQuaid down 20-7. Joe Carnes short pass to Andrew Pissarro, and he follows the blockers past the goal line. McQuaid goes into the locker room down 6. Knights now down 11 in the third quarter. Carnes from a yard away goes into the crowd. The refs rule him in. McQuaid cuts their deficit to 3. So 5 minutes ago, McQuaid still down 3. Andrew Pissarro on the carry. This time takes that hit, keeps it going as the Knights take their very first lead of the game, and they would keep it that way as McQuaid wins it 32-28. They now head to the state semifinals. While Livonia trying to keep their dream postseason run alive, Class B regional versus Maritime. Second quarter with a game tied at 8. Bulldogs give the red zone carry to Joel Smith. He rumbles ahead as Livonia ends the first half up 16-8. Third quarter, Falcons came alive. Gian Washington throwing it on fourth down. That to a darting Addison Copeland as Maritime goes up by 10 points. Fourth quarter, Livonia gets one back as Marcus Lewis takes the rock, spins his way into the end zone. Bulldogs, though, would not have enough. They wouldn't get any closer as they fall today, 40-29. Then in Class C, Southwestern against Letchworth Warsaw. First half of this one, Southwestern wastes absolutely no time. The very first play of this game, the handoff to Taiwan Wright, books it near sideline. Untouched he goes. Southwestern able to score first. Let's not struggling in this one. Another score here from the Trojans. Taiwan Wright again breaks his way through the Letsaw defense. Wright with 5 touchdowns on the day. Letsaw ends their season tonight. Final score, Southwestern wins 54-8.
13 Wham Sports, driven by Hasselton Nissan.
Tonight, Canandaigua football representing Section 5 in the New York State Class A semifinals. The Braves upsetting team after team to get this far. Tonight, they took on Carthage with a spot in the state championship game up for grabs. The Cinderella Canandaigua football team in the state semis versus Carthage out of the Syracuse area tonight. Second play from scrimmage, Carthage throwing it off the hand of a receiver, and Nathan McLean grabs it for a pick 6. That to start off scoring for Canandaigua. The Braves up in this one, but Carthage here with the ball, but the botch on the handoff, and Dalton Boylan for Canandaigua hustles for the sack. That forces a punt. So second quarter, Carthage with the ball in Braves territory. Handoff to Fambo Aza and takes it down the far sideline to tie the score up at 6. Then less than a second to go in the first half. Carthage trying that 32-yard field goal, and it is good. It's sent through. The Braves trailing in this one, and down the stretch, they just cannot get it done. So a check-in on this. The final score is Canandaigua coming up short tonight, 16-6. While tomorrow, McQuaid has its turn in the semifinals. That will be in Class AA. And yes, we will have highlights of that game going on tomorrow.
There's only one Section 5 football team still left playing. These guys, McQuaid. The Knights have had a Cinderella season, and they were just hoping the clock wouldn't strike midnight just yet. Class AA state semifinal tonight, McQuaid and CNS. Knights looking to punch their ticket to the Dome next week. In first quarter, they were down 7-0, but no panic because they got this guy, Andrew Passero, and he's really good at football. 25-yard touchdown. We were tied in the final seconds of the half. Joe Cairns calls his own number. Knights took a lead into the locker room. Early fourth quarter, Knights looking to go up 2 touchdowns. Cairns with the dart to Casey Howlett, tucks inside the pylon. 35-21 Knights. Final minutes of the game, Passero puts it on ice. 42-28 Hot Knights. They're heading to the Dome next weekend to play for a state championship.
It's amazing. It's surreal. If you would have told me in last June that I'd be in this position, I would have told you there's no way. It feels amazing.
The past 3 weeks, especially, we've been playing these close games, which have really helped us. We're building off of each one of them, and being able to go into the half with a 7-point lead was huge for us. Just kept the confidence rolling in the second half, and that's how we came out with the win.
Now 13 Wham Sports, driven by the Hasselton Advantage.
McQuaid football making history tonight. The Jesuit Knights had never before made it to the New York State Championship game tonight at the Carrier Dome. McQuaid hoping that was just the start of their program first. In Class AA, McQuaid against New Rochelle at a downstate. Scoreless in the second. New Rochelle in the red zone. They're passing into the end zone or trying, but Casey Howlett from McQuaid able to pick it off. McQuaid, though, not able to do anything with it. So later in the second, New Road driving one more time. This pass not as far, but Jaheim Gregory rumbles down the near sideline inside the 5-yard line. That sets up this. New Rochelle able to hand it off to Gary Phillips, and he reaches over the line to start the scoring. McQuaid was down 7-0 at the half. Then early third quarter, Huguenots in McQuaid territory again. Tarek Benjamin's screen pass far side to Anthony Barr Jr. He finds a couple seams for a diving touchdown and a 14-0 lead. McQuaid just not enough today. The Knights falling 28-0, but still an impressive season to get all the way to the state championship.
The message is going to be, I'm so proud of these kids. I love these kids. They work so hard week in, week out. They work so hard in the off season. Like I said, they've done such a great job of representing McQuaid and yes, setting that bar extremely high for the kids that are coming up in the future. But you know, what they did for McQuaid Jesuit this year was something pretty special.